Built in 1925, so a little bit older. It's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Purchase price is $60,000. That is cheap in today's market. Gentleman's lived there a long time. Okay, getting ready to go retirement home. House obviously hasn't been touched in 40 years, but hey, they tell you the ARV is 160. You do some searching, and you find that there is a comp sale a couple blocks over for 180. Your potential rent, you're told, is $1,400. Okay? That sounds like a real sweet deal. Nice house. Fenced-in yard, aluminum siding, mature vegetation. You could rent this. But let's do a little further research. Okay? So you go on the city site and you go to the crime mapping portion. Whoa! There's your house and the red dot. The 2s are murder. The martini glass and pill is illegal arrest for drug distribution. The fist is battery. And of course the blue with the little gun on it is illegal firearms. You find out there's a gang-related murder next door. Some of the shots that happened in the fracas wound up in the property you're looking at. Illegal firearms arrests on the block. Drug distribution, so that means there's gang and drug activity here. And there was an assault, of course, which also works with the other 2. All within 1,000 feet. But it gets better. You go to this website, Family Watchdog. There'll be a handout that has all this in for you later on. Oh, lovely! There's your little house. 2 red dots, 2 green dots, 2 yellow dots, all within close proximity. Red, sexual offense with a child, pedophilia. Blue, sexual battery. And the green, yellow are rape. So, not such a nice neighborhood. Do you want to live here? Everything we talk about in this group, I hear conversations going on like, hey, here's this house, listen to the price, we can get it really cheap. We can talk them down to this, low payment, I can get you financing. It doesn't matter crap if you don't want to live there. One of the first rules that I took to heart, philosophy number 1, is I would not move in with my family. I was not buying the house. Easy to buy, hard to rent, hard to live there. What do tenants want in the property? Let's get back to this. Location, safety, school district. Especially if you have a house that has more than 2 bedrooms. 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, children in the 12 to 13 to 15 range. They're worried about where their kids are going to go to school. Here is the Roanoke City, top 5. Cave Springs, 7 out of 10. Hidden Valley, 7 out of 10. Northside, 5 out of 10. Patrick Henry, 3 out of 10. And poor William Fleming, 2 out of 10. Unfortunately, I could not find a chart that also includes Salem and Vinton. But Salem usually falls into this category, William Byrd usually falls into that category.
Isn't Cave Springs in Hidden Valley, aren't they Roanoke County?
They want to find spaces. They don't want bedrooms with no closets. Okay? Certain things that they want in that station. The other thing that tenants want, they did a survey and found out that 45%, almost half, will pay more if they can have a pet. So now you're beginning to paint a picture of what a tenant wants. Okay? And they want a decent, responsive landlord. Okay? When they call, they want to know that you're going to call back. We do. We call everybody back within 24 hours. Okay? Sometimes the answer to them is, no, we're not doing that. Okay? But we respond. They'll call up and say, hey, my storm door is kind of loose and off its hinges. I need you to put up a new one. The answer is, no. Okay? We don't do that. Okay? Now, if you call up and say, you know, the hot water heater is broken and there's water running all over the basement, yeah, we'll come out and take care of that. The important factor that you need to know is your search for the best tenant starts before you buy the property. There's too much conversation in here about, hey, I got this house and I'm going to rent it out. Well, did you buy the house because of these criteria, or did you buy the house because somebody told you it was a good idea? Because a good idea from the person selling you the property may not be your good idea for being a landlord. So, you bought a property. It's in a good district, school, safe, checked it out. You're working on it. You're cleaning it. You clean it, you paint it. Don't over improve it. You're not living there. You're not going to live in it. You're renting it out. You do not call up the stone guy and say, hey, I need marble countertops in this property I just bought. No, you don't. Plastic laminate from Habitat for Humanity works just fine. Every $100 you spend on renovations is $100 less in your profit. The price of the house at the upper end is set. That's why we call it a $180,000 neighborhood. That doesn't mean you can come in and spend all this money and make it a $200,000 neighborhood. Not going to happen. This neighborhood rents $1,200 to $1,400. Nothing you can do to improve, put in a jacuzzi or a big pool in the back, is going to make it where you can now charge $3,000 rent. It doesn't work that way. When you're doing it, make a budget and stick to it. You're not Tarek El Moussa. If you ever watch that show, he can't make a budget and he can't stick to it. He goes over $100,000 over his budget all the time.
That's typically his wife's fault. It's usually the woman problem so no budget.
What the fuck? Edward.
We're not going to go there, Edward. This is from Edward, who is male and single, doesn't have a wife.
Oh, yeah.
And evidently ain't gonna get one.
It's not from this period. Crazy is a perfectly good functioning bathroom. You rip everything out and you put in another bathroom.
So
Why?
Fully functioning bathroom with the biscuit colored tub. Paint it and work with the biscuit colored tub.
Work with the colors. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Later on, next month, maybe the month after that, when we finish 36th Street, okay, I'm going to do that presentation, and that works entirely on the concept of doing a great renovation, but not spending great money on it. Okay. Okay. Introduce yourself to your neighbors. Look up. bought the house, you got the keys, you're moving in. The house we bought on 36th Street, Hope lives on the right-hand side. Sweet lady, works in healthcare. Been there 3 or 4 years, loves the neighborhood, is quiet. Jimmy is on the other side. Okay? Jimmy, they're on Section 8. He's semi-retired. He watches my house. He brings me food for the food bank. Okay. Jimmy's already called to me, talked to me, and said, "Hey, when you're done, let me know. I've got somebody who wants to move in." I said, "Who wants to move in?" "Well, I think my wife's sister wants to move in." I said, "Jimmy, you want your sister-in-law living next door?" Really?
Well, it might get the wife out of the house.
But Jimmy and Hope are on their front porch a lot when the weather's warm. Guess who's watching my house? I have security that's better than any camera. Plus, both of them have my card with my number. If something goes wrong, they can call me.
Do you ever have them call you to complain about your tenants?
Yes. Yes, I do this all the time. I have cards out there throughout the community, and I've received many a call. Some of them are from, "Hey, do you know that so-and-so," I mean, I don't want to be not neighborly, but they have this really loud dog, and it's driving me crazy. He barks all the time. I go back and look at the lease and say, they're not allowed to have a dog. There's no dog on this property. So then I go have a little talk with the person living here. Okay? No one is allowed into the house until you're finished. Those of you working on housing, how many times this happened? Knock on the door. "Hey, I saw you doing all this work. Can I come in and see? I'm very interested in renting it." No, I have never had someone who I let into the house while it's still a construction site. Now, my guys are clean somewhat, but it's still a construction site. Walk in and have the vision for what the final product's going to look like. That's one of the main reasons when we were flipping houses, we were staging them. Because buyers don't even have the vision on how to put furniture in a living room or furniture in a dining room. Okay? The other thing is, they could be a building official. Okay? All my houses have a sign that says, "No trespassing." Can't come in.
That means you.
And that means building officials. If they come up to the front door and say, "Can we come in?" and the answer is no, they can't come in. They have to get off the property. If they want to cite me for something, take pictures, they have to do it from the street. Ask the neighbor, get into their yard, take it from the side, but they cannot come into the property. The only one that is allowed in the property is a fire department official if there is smoke or something going on, or a police official if he hears what seems to be an altercation that requires his attention. So, protect yourself from that end. Okay, so you found a house. You checked it out. Neighborhood's okay. Hello. Okay. I was renting houses in that neighborhood for $7.95 a couple years ago. My, how the times have changed. Redfin, another website. $15.95. Rent-o-meter, rentometer. Free for the first 5 shots at it, then they want you to pay. You have to sneak around with a different email address. Zillow, when you go, type in your address on Zillow, it'll pop up for sale, go there for rent, and then it'll show you all the ones that are in your neighborhood that are for rent. Give you a comparison.
Why do you think Zillow is so low?
Because Zillow, it just isn't with the times. Okay, I don't think they're up with what's actually going on.
I thought Zillow was the part of the problem why the stuff went up so
Because
much.
they were so high.
Zillow uses an average algorithm for its houses and it does not change based on bedroom count, square footage, or bathrooms. Redfin and Rentometer are drilled down processes, and this is why I pay for Rentometer. And if you use it a lot, you should pay for it too, because it does utilize information from Zillow, from Home Advisor.
Okay? For a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, they say $1,655. That is gross. They then make the deductions for, since this is a house, what utilities the tenant has to pay, what's provided, what's not provided. It winds up being around $1,400.
Does anybody have a 3-bedroom house they're getting more than 1,400 for?
Yep, three
Section
bed, one, oh, not Section 8, but I did get 1,600 approved by Section 8 for a 3-bed, 1 bath at 5433 Palm Valley Road. It's with a basement. And they approved $1,600 for that house.
Then the next resource is Ask Edward.
That is hilarious.
We just rented a 3-bed, 1 bath with no basement. This is not Section 8. 3-bed, 1 bath, no basement, $1,600 on Edgelon Avenue behind the Embassy Inn. And we rented it in 4 days while we were renovating it.
You good with that? You decided to set the rent. Ready to go out to market. How are you going to get your name out? Old basic marketing 101. Now this, believe it or not, I have not had to use for the last 2 years. I haven't put a sign in the yard because they rent so fast through other venues. But this is how we always did it. Sign in the yard. Neighbors. They know who's looking to move. And if you have somebody that wants to move there, not has to move there, they're so much better. Yes, they're still out there. We really don't use them, but go file bankruptcy. Do you know where your lawyer is going to post a notice? In the newspaper. Get a divorce. You know where the lawyer is going to post it? In the newspaper. Okay. Get an inheritance, and you have to notify all possible heirs. Where is it put? In the newspaper. So people still read the legals in the newspaper. Then Zillow. There's one thing about Zillow that I do like. It's very user-friendly. It reaches a lot of people. It also propagates into Hotpads and Trulio. There's Facebook Marketplace. Marginal results with that one. Craigslist is kind of dead, but you could also put it on there. And then what you want to do is you want to create an ad that tells them about the property, tells them about you and the process. Okay? This is going to be your first dividing line. Okay? Everybody's going to read this, all right? And half of them are not going to bother calling you. And that's what you want. Because you don't want everybody calling you. You want the people that qualify to call you. The people that are interested to call you.
Do you background check them and qualify?
3422 Forest Hill did this last summer. Some of you saw this process. Couple nice pictures, looks good, sunny, bright, okay, nice little house. But this is the important part. This is the verbiage, 2 paragraphs. First paragraph tells you about the property. It answers all their questions. Plus it has a little, English thrown in there. Charming. Renovated. 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. It's not a house, it's a home. Okay? Tremendous amount of what we do is psychological. And how you deal with people psychologically makes an effect on how they're going to respond to your house. You're getting a copy of this too, David, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay? Specifically, the property has a living room, 2 bedrooms, bath, kitchen, dining room, and family room on the main level. Okay? The main level is hardwood floors. Answers that question. Okay? And vinyl plank in the kitchen and the bath. Makes sense. Lower level, okay, so we're dealing with a lot of space here. Has an office, a bath, and a laundry room, and a storage area. Heating is hot water radiator. Okay, now we already know that it's hot water radiator, gas. Okay, so they know it's not oil, it's gas. So if they have a problem because they haven't paid their last gas bill, they're not going to get gas extended to them, they move on. You ready to wipe them out. Hot water is gas. Window air conditioning. Oh, I'm looking for central air. Okay, I'll pass on this one. Which is good because you don't want to have to deal with it. Worst thing you want to do is make an appointment when somebody comes in, walks around, go, oh, no central air, I'm not interested, and walks out the door. Wasted your time and their time. Property is a fenced backyard and a private porch area over the garage. Fenced backyard means safety for the kids, and maybe I can have an animal. Okay? Upper level, oh, there's 3 levels in this house. Is a large bedroom with wood floors. Rent is $13.50 a month. Security deposit is $13.50. Property available now and has a minimum 1-year lease. This ad last summer generated 150 responses from Zillow. Okay. I talked to probably 70 people over the phone. I showed it a dozen times. I had 4 applications. Chose the best one. She's loving it. Single lady, believe it or not, with all this space.
You say you talked to half of them?
A little more than half.
Did they call you or did you call them?
They called. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Second paragraph. First one's about the property. This is what I'm showing you guys. This is what's available. This is the process. This is not what knocks out another 20%. We do allow some pets. Okay? No pit bulls, Rottweilers, 4 angry Chihuahuas, Dobermans, or German Shepherds, or mixes. Right, Dennis?
I am a mixes.
If interested, he has 3 pit bulls and doesn't like it when we talk about
I
it.
don't like it either, but we're just gonna move on. Jaeger was amazing.
Drive by the property. I don't want you showing up for the first time at the property when I'm going to show it to you. Make sure it's the correct school district for you. Now let them know here it's the city of Roanoke. After that, call to make an appointment. At the time of the appointment, if interested, there is an application. Oh, the big A word. Application. Okay. Once we get the completed application back, we do run a background checks. As you go to the court system. A credit check. Employment verification. We need to see your pay stubs from where you work. I need rental references where you live now or have rented in the past. Everything in the process has been laid out for them. Call 999-8737. Okay. You've taken an individual who's looking for a house. The ones that you really don't want to rent to, reading this going, I'm going to move on to the next one. The ones that read this and go, that's fine, doesn't bother me, at least I've got credit, I've got a good job, I just need a nice house. They move on. And those are the ones you want them to move on. Phone calls. Will you get phone calls? Oh, yes, you'll get phone calls. Have a script. Basically, those 2 paragraphs that I just read to you up there, which is in the ads, I have that sitting right there on my desk. When they call and ask a question, it's right there. One thing you have to be very careful of is if you have someone calling in very, very heavy South American accent you can barely understand from the Spanish, and you sort of are curt with them and move them on. And the next person calls up and has this beautiful, wonderful New England accent, and you talk to them for hours. You have not treated them equally. And that is one of the tricks the housing authority, that HUD, uses to catch people in violation of standards. That's why you have a script. You tell everybody the same thing, the same information, no matter who it is. Do not answer your phone. I have a phone, I don't answer it. Anybody here that's ever tried to call me, do I answer the phone?
Sometimes.
Very rarely.
Sometimes.
Sean, did you call me today?
Yeah, I got a lot of people, I think I did.
You did. Did I answer the phone? No, I did not.
Hell, you text me back though.
No, you texted me, said, can I call you?
Yeah, I didn't answer. So
I didn't answer the phone. After you received your text, then I called you, and you answered the phone.
It was a power play, it worked out.
You don't need to get into a conversation with anybody on their terms. You get into a conversation with them on your terms. Okay? Use an answering machine. Make them leave a message. And by answering machine, as gives me a number that called, when it called, what the message is. From Zillow, I usually get a message saying, hey, I called, and here's my number, and call me back. After I've received 10 calls, 15 calls, whatever, I'll sit down at my desk, and I will call everybody back. On my landline. Nobody who rents from me has my cell phone number. Only a small portion of you in this room have my cell phone number. Okay? The reason is tenants don't need to be able to get a hold of me whenever they want to get a hold of me. They can call the office. Emails. Zillow sends out a lot of messages. I have an email account. I check it. People send me requests. They send me, hey, I made the deposit. Got some people like you, David, that go, hey, here's my receipt. I just made the rent payment. Here's the receipt for you. Sent to me by email. Return them in batches, and they need to call to set up an appointment. Nothing is sent by email or mail. Hey, I like the property. Can you send me an application? No. Okay. The only way you get an application is from my hand when I give it to you. Okay. Again, I am controlling the situation. If you are really interested in this property, this is something that you and I are going to agree on. If you're not, if you have an attitude that this doesn't work for you, I really don't want to rent to you in the first place. Okay?
Thanks.
Can I apply online? No.
Why not?
Because I want to meet you face to face, and I want to talk to you. Okay? And you'd be surprised. Jerry, Nelson and I have been doing this so long, we can tell you when somebody walks up that driveway to our property, within 10 seconds, we've made the determination as to whether we will rent to them or not in that short period of time by how they move, how they address us, and their demeanor.
And with their car looks like.
That's right. Getting to that too.
And what they call it?
That works for tenants too, honestly. Looking for places, tenants want the exact same thing that you're talking about.
Yep.
We don't want to close doors. We don't want online. We don't want a face that we can't see and somebody that we don't know is always going to be there for us if we need it.
Can I meet you this afternoon? It's 11 o'clock in the morning. Can I meet you this afternoon? No. How about tomorrow morning? No. When you're ready, you set up 2 appointments based on your schedule. It's Monday, say Wednesday, 5 o'clock, Thursday at 4 o'clock. And then you start calling them back. Can I meet you? Yeah, I've got an appointment set, I've got times, Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Can you make that? No, I can't. Well, how about Thursday? Thursday at 4 o'clock. Okay, I'll meet you there. Next person calls in. Say, can I meet you today? No, but I can meet you Wednesday. What time you got? 5 o'clock. Next person comes in. What time can we meet? Wednesday, 5:10. Next person comes in. Wednesday, 5:20. 10 minutes apart. Why?
What happens if they're late?
And they are late. This will give them enough time, and believe me, they are late, and they are early. Okay? But this will give them enough time to view the property with you on a one-on-one. You answer their questions, but they also get to interact with other potential tenants. The ones that showed up early for their 5:20 appointment will be there when the 5:10 is leaving. Okay? Because nothing builds up desire more than competition.
Do you let the tenants know that other tenants are going to show up too, or is it just by surprise?
No, it's just a surprise. Okay. The funny thing, believe it or not, when you set these appointments and you get these people coming in, they're leaving, next person's coming up the walk. They go, hey Betty, how are you doing? How's things? How's your kids? How's your mom doing? How things? They all know each other. They communicate with them. They're all vying for the same property, but they all know each other. Okay? So it is sort of a big family affair. No. They may not pay the security deposit today. If I can give you the security deposit right now, well, then of course I get the property. If I were to rent to you, you have to pay the security deposit anyway. There's no advantage. Can you hold it for me? I mean, I'll get paid next Friday. Okay? Can you hold it for me? Nope. Nope. At the appointment time. Arrive early, don't be late. I'm the one that's always late. The appointment's at 5, don't show up at 5:03, March.
You mean 5:15?
Show up at 4:45. You're gonna need that time to go turn on the lights, open the windows, make doors, make sure that everything's going on. I put paperwork on the kitchen counter. I have handouts from Lead Safe, from Virginia Fair Housing. If they want any of that, it's available for them.
You have handouts?
I have handouts.
That's hard to believe.
Yes, man.
What about Virginia
Handouts for today.
tenant rights and responsibilities?
Invite them in. Okay. Lock the door. Well, yeah.
No.
Well, while I'm showing you the house, I don't want the other person who's early to start walking in. Do they? Oh, yes, they do. Do they not? No, they just open the door and say, I'm here. Yeah, well, if the door's locked, they're not here. Okay. One at a time. Because I want to deal with you one at a time. Because I want to be asking personal questions about you. Okay? And I want personal responses from you. Because that is how I'm going to make the determination as to whether I'm going to rent to you. Okay? And you're not going to be comfortable giving me private information if there's a bunch of strangers milling around. That's why we lock the door. I have a set path that I walk through the house. I know where I'm going, what I'm showing. When I enter a room, I open the door, put my back up against the wall. You have the look of the whole room. The room looks bigger. Many people open the door and then stand right here. Well, this is the bedroom. Well, you're blocking the whole damn view. I can't see the bedroom. Get your ass out of the way. Okay? Step out of the way and let them see what it is. As you're walking through, highlight the features. Well, this is freshly painted. We have new flooring in here. Okay? There are new blinds, by the way, on all our rentals. We put in new blinds. Okay?
Expensive ones or the cheap ones?
Cheap ones. Because they're gonna beat them up anyway. Well, they used to be $5. Now they're $15. Okay. Okay. And get them engaged in the process. What you looking for? Is this a good bedroom for you? This is a master bedroom. Does this work for you? Okay. I think I have it on that one. Yeah, this room is big enough for a king-size bed. This dining room area here, I know you could put 10 people. This corner right over here would be a great place for a Christmas tree. You're beginning to get them involved in renting that home. And I use the word home. What are you looking for in a home? Not a house, not an apartment, a home. Vernacular, psychological. Downstairs, do the more nitty-gritty stuff. Utilities, panel box, central air, it's a new panel box, it's new hot water here, it's gas. And you finish your tour of the kitchen, where all the paperwork is. This now, you've got them sensed into this very relaxed state of affairs. You showed them everything. Now it gets a little nitty-gritty. And this is where I'm a little different from everybody else in this room. If they have not asked you yet, this is where you tell them, we do not provide appliances. Usually when they walk through the kitchen, they go, oh, what kind of stove is there? There is no stove. I am renting you the house. I will take care of the roof. I will take care of the heating system. I will take care of the hot water heaters. I don't provide appliances, except for the dishwasher because it is built in. Okay, so that is a slight variation from that. Most of my problems 30 years ago, 20 years ago, when I had duplexes in an apartment building was the refrigerator dying and the stove not working. Or having people that I really shouldn't have rented to who couldn't afford the gas bill, had the gas shut off, so they cranked the electric range up to 550 and opened the door and heated the house. And they called me a week later, hey, the oven doesn't work. It burned up. An oven doesn't burn up under normal use. So, I do not provide appliances. Will I lose some people from this? Yes. I have lost some people from this through the walkthrough. Husband and wife came in, walking through the kitchen. Wife asked, where's the refrigerator? Ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't provide
Can I help
stove.
you?
No, he can't, Edwin. I don't provide stove and refrigerator. What do you mean you don't provide stove and refrigerator? You gotta provide stove and refrigerator. That's the law. Okay? No, sir, it's not the law. Okay? This as a place that they rent, but a place that's theirs where they live.
Andy, on the batteries for the fire alarms, wouldn't that be an insurance thing though, for you?
Yeah, if the house burns down, then, you know, there's an issue. We do also have, they have homeowners insurance, renter's insurance.
I have it as a clause in the lease too,
Yeah.
that anytime something's newly rented, I change the battery. It doesn't matter if it's only been in there for a year, I change batteries at the beginning of every rental, and then the clause that states you are required to change batteries, like, and so forth. Failure to do so is on you.
Yeah. I do that too. The problem is with mine, I get a new tenant every 9 years, every 10 years, so it doesn't work that well, but, okay. We take care of the roof, heating system, hot water system, we expect them to take care of the rest. We respond to emergency maintenance calls within 24 hours, we talked about that. We do not raise your rent every year. And I tell them that in the interview before I have even rented to them. Okay? We do not raise the rent every year if it hasn't been paid on time. Now, if in 12 months you're late 9 months and I have to call you and threaten you to get it, yeah, then we probably, hey, you're going to make it a hassle for me, it's going to cost you $30 more. Okay? If it's there like clockwork, you'd be surprised how many checks I get in at the end of the month for the next month. They're responsible for lawn maintenance and snow removal. Now, we haven't had much snow removal. But, yeah, the big storm was a mass being fizzled out.
I saw an ad this
but
week and it said gutter. They were responsible for cleaning out the gutters too.
What?
Yeah, I listed up Zillow.
That I have changed to I will clean out the gutters because they don't. Okay? So we clean out the gutters before they move in and we put in leaf guards because I want to protect the house. And I don't need them falling off the ladder either. At the end of the tour, ask if they would like to take an application. Okay. Never refuse to give an application. Look, I just followed you around for the last 5 minutes. There's no way I'm going to rent you your ass. I'm not giving you an application. Oh man, are they going to come down on you? Okay? Would you like an application? Yes, here. What did it cost you? What do 4 sheets of paper at the Xerox store cost you? 28 cents? Okay. Protect yourself. Everybody gets an application. No, they may not fill it out there because you don't have all the information I need.
I got your hot water, baby.
Even if you know what's in there and you brought it all with you. The answer is no, I've got other people coming in. Take it home, send it back when it's complete.
Okay.
Then you follow them out the door, unlock it, take them out, walk them down to their car if you can, and take a little peek in the back seat. Because how they keep the inside of their car is how they're going to keep the inside of your house. Okay? Be consistent. I've heard stories in this group. You know, I went down to the judge. My sister has this house. Title's in her name. I'm managing it for her. Tenant's late. So I went down there and I filled out the warranty endorsement. Okay. The unlawful detainer. And I go up there and the judge sees my letter and he sees the lease and throws it out. What's going on here? Well, the lease is in one name, the unlawful detainer is in another name. Okay? Be consistent. This is my application, it says Tennessee Investments. This is my lease, it says Tennessee Investments. Okay? Tennessee Investments own property by the partnership I'm part in. It is the property that I own by myself. It is the property that my wife and I own together. It is the property that my daughter owns. Doesn't matter. Tennessee Investment manages the property. When you have a free time, not now, hop online and see what you can find out Googling Tennessee Investments. Ain't much. You're not going to find anything. It's on purpose. Okay? When you fill out an UD, I don't know how to do it by computer yet. I do it by hand, messy handwriting. So, UD is filled out by Tennessee Investments. All right. Now we got the application, 4-page application. How are we doing? We are at an hour in at 7:30. You still hanging with me? We are on slide 30 of 52, a little bit more than halfway.
No better than a bill.
Okay, all right. All right. First of all, I'll tell you who I am. Tennessee Investments is a company specializing in high-quality rental property. Man, I can lie well, isn't it? Tenant Investment does not discriminate against any person nor denying housing accommodations to any person because of race, color, religion, national origin, sex, age, familial status, elderliness, handicap, or marital status. Love the legalese. If after you inspecting the premises you wish to rent them, you must fill out our application. When we receive the completed application along with a $20 credit check fee, we will evaluate your credit and other information and notify you approval or non-approval. The credit check fee is non-refundable, but is applied toward the security deposit if you're approved. I understand I'm way low from what you guys are charging for a credit check. They are simply for those that know they have bad credit. You're gonna lose something if you apply, because I'm taking it back and I'm keeping your money. If you're good, it's applied toward to your security deposit. What it doesn't say is if I don't get to your application, I will also send it back. All right, where are we at? Each applicant, an occupant over 21 must complete a separate application. Spouse or life partner may submit a joint or subject to approval and acceptance by Tennessee Investment. This is in the handouts I'm giving to you. This is mine. You're welcome to use it, cut and paste it. If you want a DOC copy of it, I'll need your email address. After application is approved, the rental contract needs to be signed and receive the first month's rent, plus security deposit. This is hard with Section 8 because Section 8 won't give you first month's rent until after they move in. Okay. If rental contract is not signed within 48 hours of approval, the approval will be withdrawn. Yes, David.
Have you ever had Section 8 back out on you?
Not Section 8. I've had people back out on me, and I took them to court and lost. Of all of this, which is all unlawful detainment, I have never lost. Anytime I took anybody to court for an unlawful detainment, I have won, because I have all my facts in a row. I had one couple that agreed to take a house. I took it off the market. I said, we'll get together next week and we'll sign the lease. Oh, we're going on vacation. Okay, well, call me when you get back. So they got back, they didn't call me, I called them again and said, hey, you're approved, we need to get together to sign the lease. We changed our mind. We don't want the house. So I filed a warrant in debt against them. And went to the judge and said, no. Just because they filled out the application and signed everything that they would enter into a lease does not mean they actually entered into the lease and all the conditions of the lease. You can't sign a document saying, I will enter into it, and then be held by the conditions of the document you haven't read and signed. Okay. So, rent's due on the first of the month. A 5-day grace period. After the 5th day, a late charge of $50 is applied. Okay. We don't have an office. You can't see me. So therefore, I go by postmark. There's a $50 charge in the event of a return check. Yes, some people still pay by check. Additionally, no further payments may be made by check. Okay. We allow some pets, and again, I'm really low on this. $10 for a cat, $20 for a month, plus for a dog. But I need to meet them and approval.
So you said if they don't start,
You have to obey all applicable laws, regulations, and will not do anything to damage the property, disturb the neighbors, otherwise affect the property. I'm telling them in the application, don't be thinking about starting a meth house in the basement. Okay? Renter's insurance is highly recommended, and I'm really beginning to think that I need to change that term to mandated, required. You're responsible for the following utilities: water, sewer, gas, oil, electricity. I cross out the ones that are on the property. Telephone, cable, dish TV, no appliances included. Okay, now you see it in writing. Resume responsibility for all minor repairs. Okay.
Back to renter's insurance. Why are you changing your policy or thinking about it?
Because strongly recommended doesn't mean they're gonna get it. Okay, required does. The last couple of people that I've rented to, one or two have not notified me that I'm on their policy. 2 or 3 have. Okay, so I know I'm on their policy. Okay. But those are the nicer people too.
Have there been any issues where it was needed?
In 38 years, I've had one claim, and that was a lady who purposefully tried to burn the house down.
Yeah, somebody David's house.
Burn the
Practiced
house.
on yours and
Burn the house, you got payment for his house.
You know, when you give them a notice to pay because they have to go to court because they haven't paid their rent, and then they accidentally leave a pot of grease on the stove and crank it up high and leave. You know? Wonder what happens. But they couldn't prove arson, so. But my insurance covered, and I got a better house for it. Our mailing address, P.O. Box 20802. My phone number, which is also my fax number, and I have come into the 19th century, not the 21st yet, and there is an email address. And now I'm beginning to think that I need to change that, because you'd be surprised the number of people that cannot spell Tennessee. Like Mississippi, it's one of those, it's got double letter, no double letter. I sent you an email. Where'd you send it to? No, that's not how you spell Tennessee. All right, now I want your stuff. Okay. What date is this? What property are you looking at? When are you looking at moving in? How long are you planning on being there? Simple questions. But I look at them very carefully. What's the one up there that I probably look at the most?
right.
Expected length of lease.
How long you gonna plan on being? How many people you had call saying, well, we're new in town, we're looking for a place for a year or two, and then we'll buy our own? Do you really want that person?
No.
No! My average is, like I said, about 10 to 12 years. Okay? I don't want anybody's moving in, moving out. Okay? I'm not a hotel, I'm not an Airbnb. I'm a landlord with a house, don't bother me. Okay? I want your full name, your birthday. Oh, you can't ask the age of a person, and it's against the law to ask, because that's age discrimination. I'm not asking how old they are. Say, what's your birthday? You can put down September 2nd. That qualifies. But people don't. They put 9/2/65. I can do math. I now know how old they are. Okay?
Have you ever had somebody put 5 years, 10 years, and expected length of lease?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
I have an application right now for the house we just finished that they put under how long you plan on staying? Forever.
Forever?
Forever. And they probably will.
But your leases are 2 years? 1 year.
What's your current address? How long you been there? Okay, I want to know where you live and how. Were you here 3 months? Were you here 5 years? Okay. We'll get to another question later on. City, state, telephone number, cell number, social security number. Oh, you can't ask for social security number. I got news for you. Until you sign the lease, you heard this phrase a couple more times. You are in charge. The moment they sign the lease, they are in charge. And you're just the passenger. While you're in charge, get this, because if you ever have to sue them and garnish them, you're gonna need this piece of information.
Don't you need that in order to run credit and background?
Yeah.
But not bank account, that's like a weird thing, right? Bank
Yeah.
account information.
That comes by force lights. Driver's license number. This is so fast, I'm going to just jump into the. Who's your current landlord? Oh, that's always a good one. Odds are I know them. What's their phone number? What's your current rent? You're looking to rent a house from me for $1,200 and your current rent is $800. I'm beginning to wonder why you're looking to move. What utilities you paying? Where do you work? I got this great job working in the hospital. How long you been there? 2 months. Okay, what'd you do before then? Okay. Title of position, your work phone number, employer's address, who's your supervisor? Your net pay per hour, hours worked in a week. I'm surprised how many people put 20 on a full-time job. Okay. Are any wages being garnished? Oh, that's a good one. Because they'll always say no, and guess what? Court record says they are. Okay. Once you lie on this, you're done. I don't have to rent to you. We just lied on your application. Okay. Attach a copy of the pay stub. You send this in without a copy of the pay stub, goes to the side, I'll move on to the next one. Now, there was a time, right, to get to know this person that I'm going to let into my $150,000 house. Okay? And I want to know who the heck they are. Okay?
Does the background check gives you if they've been convicted of anything?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a couple slides if we have time. Yeah. Make a model of your car and your car payment. Why is that important? Because you will find that people that rent properties will pay their car payment before they pay you. And they will make the minimum on their credit card payment before they pay you. And the reason is because the credit card company and the car company has much better collection people who hound them and call them all the time. I just send them an nasty letter and then file it in court. Co-applicant. Okay, we got the same information. Okay.
You charge another $20 for a co-applicant?
Yes. 20 per adult. Other income, which is not income. You have to consider this legally, but it's not income. It helps to pay their bills, but if you're in a situation where you have to garnish them, you cannot garnish child support, you cannot garnish SSI, and you cannot garnish disability. Okay? Those are garnish proof. So they could be getting $5,000 a month from the government, or you too, they don't have to pay you anything because those are garnish proof. So you have to be real careful if somebody comes to you and 100% of their income is from there. Because if they mess up, screw up the property, and you take them to court, you're not getting anything. Additional information. Why are you moving? I love this one. I want to know why you're leaving where you are to come rent from me. It gives me a character of the person. It gives me what their goals are. And it's like, well, you know, I just want a house. Yours was open. I'm fine. Well, then I really want that person. This is the one that's left open a lot. Checking account, the bank, account number, savings account, bank account number. Why do I want that? Because if I get judgment against you, okay, and you pay by check. By the way, if I rent to you and you pay by check, that check gets a federal copy. I now have all your bank information, your account number, everything right there. We have to go to court and again garnishment against you. I have all that information against you. Like I said, up until we sign the lease, I'm in charge. The moment you sign the lease, you're in charge. Once they're in your house, and you say, hey, look, I'm getting ready to take you to court. I'm going to get a judgment against you. Could I have your bank account number so I can garnish it? Okay.
Doesn't the court get that information? Like if you do get a judgment and it gets garnished?
You have to provide it for them. And the thing we missed, the driver's license. Okay. All right, coming to the end here. All right, applications are processed in the order that they are received. You all heard me tell the story about Carla. And Carla used to show properties, and when you have an application, people would hand her the application, she would pick 3 up there. And ask her, why is there a 3? Well, you're the 3rd applicant. They were the first applicant, but they were told they were the 3rd. So, expectations. Applications will not be considered after the properties are rented, or if any forms or applications are incomplete or unsigned or not included or false information. You don't give me a pay stub, you lie on the form, you don't sign it, not going to consider it. We will allow occupancy and furnish keys after all parties have signed the required documents, all rents and securities have been paid in full. And this is explained to me, and then they sign and date. I'm going to deviate just a little bit here.
Did you ever ask for double deposit?
Not recently, I have in the past, yes. When they're marginal, I've also asked for co-signers. I've had some individuals, they were in their late 20s, early 30s, but had not done well financially in their life. So I had a parent co-sign. And sure enough, they did not do well. I kicked them out, and mother was not happy when I came calling, but she paid everything. All right. Clifton's not here, so I put it in here to pick on him, and he's not even here to pick on him. He posted on the website complaining how much P.O. boxes had gone up to $180 a year.
Yeah.
Somebody else wrote back and said, yeah, this is terrible, I'm gonna get rid of mine. Let me tell you a little story. Property is 318 Forest Hill. It's the 3rd house I bought. The year was 1988. I know there's a lot of you in here laughing because you weren't even born then.
I graduated in '87. I was born.
And I was running real estate out of my house.
We graduated in '87.
Had an office upstairs. Rents were mailed to me at the house. Okay. My phone number was the one that was included, so we had personal calls and business calls on there. We didn't have that many, so. And I had a tenant who I probably a little over-aggressively sent him a letter saying, look, you ain't paying your rent, I'm gonna kick your ass out and take all your stuff and throw it in the street. Probably not the best verbiage.
What did we learn from that lesson?
So he picked up the phone, last name was Euler. You remember that. And called. Slight problem. I wasn't home. Uh-oh. But the wife was. So she took the call, and he threatened her and said, I know where you live, I'm going down there and kick his butt. When I got home, I got a talking to. We're not going to do this. We are not doing this real estate. No, I'm not going to have anybody come in here threatening my family. Go away. Okay. Next day I went down, got a warrant for his arrest on assault. Then I went over to the Poff building and I got a P.O. box. I don't care if they charge you $50, $60, $300, $900. Security. And I got a new phone number. Okay. The reason for all of this is this.
Look at there we are.
Kids, who's that man right there?
Right?
He's got hair. And just a mustache. Man.
Man, he really does look like an architect.
The reason is still the same, just a little bit
I think
older.
the cutest little,
Where's your pocket
Blonde
protector?
hair. He probably can.
This little smart butt right here
Is right here.
is this little smart butt right here. You all hadn't figured that out.
That's me. I'm the eldest.
And the other one is a PA in North Carolina.
She looks a little wild too.
Oh, oh my.
She looks
Something
fun.
about those second
She's fun,
children.
but she's wild.
She
There's
looks fun.
something about those second children.
This is why I do what I do. You have your reason for doing what you do. And that's why I want to make sure that the people that rent from me pay their rent on time. So this works well. Okay. Now we've talked a lot about what the tenant wants. What do you want? What are the characteristics you look for in a tenant? One, I want them to be excited. They walk into my property, I don't want to go, oh, yeah, it looks good. Can I paint? Oh, you gonna fix this? Man, I really don't like this street. Not the best school district. What are the neighbors?
I'm glad you owned up to it.
What do you say? It's like, you know, I want them to walk in there. Look, I have been looking for a house for so long. This is perfect for me and my family. It's the right school district. It's close to work. I really want to rent this. Well, they do want to live there. They can afford it. And they have a good record for paying their rent on time.
Do you have a formula for how much they need to make?
Yeah.
How long would average does it take you to rent the house? How long would average does it take you to rent the house?
Between putting the ad on Zillow and agreeing to rent to somebody is less than a week. But that's because I talk to everybody. I do between putting the house on the market and signing the lease, to me is the most important part about being a landlord. Once they sign the lease, it's just rote. It's just, you send me the check, there's a problem, we'll fix it. Otherwise, don't bother me. Nothing much happens.
That's impressive, the amount of requirements that you have and no appliances and all that. I would imagine that always been hard, but you know.
And they want to stay forever. Because we have some people, I mean, Mars does Airbnbs. She's excited when she gets somebody for 6 months. Okay. They come to me and say, hey, we're new in town, we need a place for a year. I'm not excited. Don't really need you. I want somebody that lives there. Best property I've had is on Woodville, over there behind Cave Spring Middle School, up on the hill. Lady came to me with her husband, 5 children, 12 to baby. Said, we really love this house. We love this neighborhood. Okay. I said, how old are you, young? 1. We really want to move here. And I knew that if they checked out, I would have them for 18 years. And I did.
Mm-hmm.
The husband left. She got a new boyfriend. First son graduated, went to college. Second one graduated, went to college. And then she called me when the last one was leaving high school. Said, I need something smaller, I'm moving. 18 years.
Could you better than something smaller?
No, she got a new boyfriend. Boyfriend wanted to go someplace else. So
In those 18 years, how many times did you raise it?
not enough. Okay. Probably 4. I need you to application, either by mail, by fax, or by computer. If it is not complete, you do not have to process it. Start with a copy of their driver's license. Does the information that match the application? One thing I found, tax returns, driver's licenses, people don't really lie to the government. They give them the good information. You gotta make sure that what they have on those documents match what they put on your application. Okay. Pay stubs. The names and addresses match the application. Especially with women, there are maiden names, former husband's names, and it's sometimes a way to get around credit checks, because if you really messed up your credit in your current married name, you go back to your maiden name when you had good credit, and you pull that up, hey, good credit, you know? But on your new name, we found out that you don't.
Wouldn't there be like an end date? Like if somebody was using their maiden name, I don't know this that well, but if someone was using their maiden name, wouldn't they have just a stop date on like that history of credit when they switched their names? No?
You gotta remember, all the government agencies is monthly. Check take-home income after your deductions. I make $36,000 a year, $3,000 a month, before taxes. I bring home $1,100 after deduction. You can't rent on $1,100. It's the take-home that we look at. At a minimum, I want one check to cover it. So therefore, if your rent is $1,100 a month and your pay stub is $900, it's going to take you a pay stub and a little bit to pay rent. That doesn't work. You're getting in trouble.
Every 2 weeks or weekly?
Every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Now, if you take monthly, of course, it's totally different. But most people, I would say 90% people get paid every 2 weeks. Okay. Realistically, we prefer 30 to 40%. When rents were $800, and that was achievable in today's market, it is very difficult to achieve that. Okay. And it's going to get worse. So we have to be flexible in those areas. But again, you find a good person that has a good job, you provide them a good home, they will stay with you. Look at your deductions. Okay. Healthcare, vision, life insurance, disability insurance, all those little deductions off your pay stub. Oh, garnishment. Well, you told me you didn't have a garnishment, but your pay stub says that they've taken $32 every pay stub for a garnishment. You lied to me again. Right. Are there car payments listed? We talked about it. They get paid before rent gets paid. What is the year-to-date amount? If you're looking at a pay stub, they're making really great numbers, and well, now we're in January, so it doesn't count. It's November, and the year-to-date is $3,000. They haven't been at that job very long. If you're working for an individual, you need documentation from an employer. Private duty nurses are not employees. They work for somebody. Usually that person will write them a letter saying they're a private duty nurse. This is how much I pay them. And you can, that's a tough one to verify. Okay. If they're self-employed, that's a tough one to verify. At that point, I ask for a tax return from the previous year, okay, or two. All right, you may not give me the right information. Are you going to lie to the government? Okay. Documentation from the client. If you're working for bank statements, I've had them show me that. I've had one dog groomer who, gave me her bank statements for 3 months. This is where all the people paid me for their dog grooming shows up. Disability and SSI, every year you get a letter from the government telling you what your benefits are. I want to know it so I can calculate your income, even though I know that it's garnish proof. Then you call their current employer. Say you're working for Billy Bob's Automotive. Here's a number, you call up and go, "This is Joe's Pizza." Guess what? I just gave you the wrong number. Okay. Check the references. Is there a child support payment listed? Again, it will show up in the statement. Other information on the application that you need to be aware of. When are they looking at moving in? I've got a lot of people call and say, "Hey, coming into town next September, looking for a house." Great, call me in August. Okay? I can't help you right now. How long are they planning on being there? Okay, talked a little bit about that one. What is your current rent? Because if their current rent is $900 and you're charging $13, most people are not able to afford that jump. That's going to be a problem and you're not going to get paid. What utilities are they currently paying? A lot of people won't rent because they have a gas bill that they haven't been able to take care of. Sometimes I have couples, she fills out the application with one address, he fills out the application with a different address. We want to live together. Okay. So you have to deal with that thing. One thing that I have found that I'm really looking hard at how to fix is my roommate. Okay? Because roommates fall apart. Okay? You know, yeah, we're in love, my boyfriend, we're going to get married someday. We just want to live together. And in 6 months, the boyfriend's gone. And she can no longer afford the house. And you, as a landlord, get to deal with their mess. Okay? That's, again, why you do all the research up front on those situations. And this is still one of my favorites. Why are you moving? The landlord doesn't fix anything. Oh, really? I've got mold in my house. Really? Where's your mold? The bathroom. There's mold all over the ceiling. You turn on the fan? There's no fan. Oh, okay. There's mold growing around the bathtub. You clean the tile in the bathtub? A lot of these things are self-brought, and they're trying to blame the landlord as a reason to move. Okay, don't accept it as a reason to move. Number of people living in the house. You can't discriminate, but you got to know. Okay, you can't have a 3-bedroom house with 9 people in it. It's really difficult.
What is the legal limit?
There isn't any.
Really? Of unrelated people?
Used to be all kinds of, we had all kinds of rules by the state and by the city, and children, how old the children were in relationship to other children, being in the same bedroom, that's all out the window. Right now, just don't discriminate.
Question.
Yeah.
I'm asking because I don't.
Judgment for the plaintiff, you can't go and say, "Oh, by the way, what's your bank account information so I can garnish your wages?" I don't get that. But in the front end, you get it.
So do you ever get people who are hesitant to share that with you, but seem like they'd be good, really good tenants, and
Yes.
do you overlook it, or do
You work around it.
An easy way, if they're feeling comfortable, is to require the security deposit to be paid via a check. That way you get the bank info and it seems more reasonable to them. You don't have to pay security by a check.
Yep. Same way as, I can't ask you how old you are, but hey, give me your birthday. Now I know how old you are. Okay, I can do math.
And doesn't Section 8 have rules about how many people can rent your three-bedroom house?
Yes, Section 8 is a government program that runs the program. When you invite them in your life, you have to go by their program.
So could
Okay.
you use those as your standards then? That if
They're-
you were
they're-
taken to court because you wouldn't let somebody rent it that had 9 kids in your three-bedroom house?
The easiest way to deal with that, if you want to deal with that family, is you gently say, I'm sorry, the house is not rented.
You put a 3 on the back of the application.
Yeah. All right, I know we're late here, let's finish it up, we got 5 slides left. Start the verification, important, you'll get a list of this. Go to courtstateva.us, this is the primary function on everybody. You do case status, general district, case information, name of jurisdiction, Roanoke City, Roanoke County, Salem, Lynchburg, whatever you want. Criminal or civil, you check them both. You enter the last name and the first initial only. If their name is Smith, you type in Smith, and then it's Jonathan. Don't type in Jonathan, because you don't know how to spell Jonathan. Put a J. And I'll give you everybody that has a J. You'd be surprised how one letter can throw things off in the system. Check on all to see what is listed. If your case appears, you can click on it, and you will see the disposition. If there was an unlawful detainer, click on it. Who was the plaintiff? What was the judgment? How much money did they get? Was it ever paid? If it was a criminal, was it reserved, taken up to the district court? And district court cases is where you get prison time. Check all the names found in the application. We talked about that. Maiden name. Local jurisdictions, Roanoke City, Roanoke County, Salem.
Can you go back, Andy?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to speed it up. We're coming up on 8:30 and I know.
Handouts, I do everything.
Yeah, I've got handouts. And I see people yawning and people starting to play on their phones. That's my signal is, okay, I've lost you. Okay, so need to finish up. I go to GIS and I type in the address where they say they're living. Really? Yeah. I want to know who owns a building. Who owns a property and does it match the application information? I rent from Jimmy B. Well, the house says you rent, the house is owned by Doris Smith. How's that possible? And when you call up and go, oh, it's Jimmy B, I'm a landlord. Okay, thank you. Call back the next day, same number. See if Jimmy B still answers. Okay? Because they have their friends give you false answer on their behalf. If everything matches and you're already approved, call the current landlord. I don't do this till the end. Okay? Because the current landlord may not know they're looking at moving. It's really not fair to tip them off if you're not going to rent to them. So wait till the end before you do that. Do not alert the current landlord until you're ready to commit to them. Current landlord may give them glowing reports because they want them out too. You know, you got somebody who's really not paying the rent, you want them out. Somebody calls, hey, are they good people? Oh yeah, lovely, great. Pay their rent on time. Yeah, rent to them again. Yeah. That's why you try to call the previous landlord. Get information. When you send them a rental verification form to the current landlord, you will also need to send them the last paragraph of your application, which has their signature on it. Okay. And mine looks something like this. Really basic. Okay. Ask them to fill it out. Most of them do it without any problem. When we first started, we call them up and say, hey, Do you rent for me? Yes. You a good person? No, son of a bitch is always late. Okay? Nowadays, I'm sorry, we're not allowed to give that information over the phone. Please send us the form to the following address. Okay. Everybody's covering their ass. Final step. You thought I was weird with appliances? This to me is one of the most important things that I do. Nobody else in this room does it. I don't know why. After you are fairly sure that you are going to rent to them, stop by for an unannounced visit. At dinner time, we know when everyone's home. Knock on the door and you hear this big dog barking. Apologize. Wait a minute, they didn't say they had a dog in their application. Okay, what we got going on here? So they answer the phone, the door. Tell them you are in the neighborhood. I have to have your application with me. Do they fill out every line on an application? 100% no. Always a line that's not filled out. You are working on the application, you had a few questions, could they clarify a few points? And you ask to be invited in. Most people say, sure, come on in, come on in. If you want to rent your house, yeah, absolutely. You get your answers, you thank them, and then you leave. How they are currently keeping their house is what yours is going to look like in 2 months. If it's a mess, yours is going to be a mess.
So let's all leave it.
Unless they're packing up to leave.
Doesn't usually happen because they haven't got the approval yet, but there's a difference between packing up the, like I said, power shifts. You're no longer in charge. They're in control. Think about it. What a wonderful thought it is that some of the best days of our lives haven't happened. I know we ran long. Questions?